Hi, everybody. It's Chris Carosa, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the new year. It is time for the weekly Mayors and Supervisors update. And let's start off right away with John Moffett, the supervisor of the town of Mendon. John, how are things going in Mendon?
Good, Chris. Thank you. I just wanted to touch on a few things, most of them surrounding the county and tax bill that'll be in most people's mailboxes unless you escrow. Um, First of all, our rate, town outside the village is 267. That is ninth year in a row we've been flat or reduced. So we're very proud of that. Also, for paying your taxes, we're increasing we're trying to get people not to come into town hall to pay their taxes. We are open. It's not by appointment or anything like that, but we are open. We are encouraging people to mail in their tax bills and their check, obviously, or there's a drop box on the West Main Street side of the building. There's a side door, some would call it a front door, and there's a drop box there. People can drop it in there. If they choose to, if they want a receipt, we will definitely write them a receipt, even if you mail it in or put it in the drop box. But we're encouraging people because of COVID not to come into town hall. The other thing I want to mention is with the governor has recently signed a executive order regarding exemptions, and the town did adopt that Wednesday. So we will not require any of the exemption paperwork, and all the exemptions will fall back on the 2020 exemptions as far as seniors exemptions and disability exemptions, those type of things. So those went out in the mail some time ago. We have a letter that went out in the mail Wednesday afternoon to let people know that they do not need to bring that in. Things like limited income, where they'd have to bring copies of their tax forms in, that is not necessary this year. And that is all due to COVID as well. Let's see, we're having our organizational meeting on Monday, January 11th. That will be at the community center at 167 North Main Street. Obviously, the public is welcome to attend that. And I do have a separate article for the Sentinel regarding the fire protection district and the tax rate change that I sent to the Sentinel earlier today. I did want to mention one other thing, is that there was a lawsuit brought by some of the towns in Monroe County, Brighton and Mendon-Honeoye, are at least two of them. And that was overturned by the Court of Appeals recently. So what happened is that a few years ago, when the economy was a little stagnant, the towns of Brighton and Mendon-Honeoye were doing some maintenance and tearing down some abandoned houses and things like that. And then they, in turn, were charging the homeowner. In many cases, it was a vacant property, and that homeowner was not there. And in most cases, they left the house. They were zombie houses, as they became known. So the issue became with whether or not the towns would be made whole for those things. In other words, those charges, when the towns, luckily in Monroe County, when the towns collect these taxes on county and town taxes, we get to take our share right off the top. And any shortages goes back to the county, and the county basically chases anybody who is delinquent in their taxes. So that part of it is great for us, and that's been that way for a good long time. However, the county balked at some of these maintenance issues and tearing down homes issues, and that lawsuit was overturned. Originally, they said that the towns couldn't be made whole for that, and now the Court of Appeals has turned that over. I'm quite frankly a little disappointed that the Court of Appeals turned that over, only because when towns like Mendon-Honeoye, bigger towns closer to the city, do have problems and do tear down homes and things like that, that will go on all of our tax bills. And that's a problem that we really don't have. It's not a big problem, especially right now in what I feel is the outer ring of towns. So I'm kind of disappointed in that ruling, but it is a ruling by the same point, and we will live by that ruling. So a couple other things. We do have a new truck for the highway department that'll be doing some snow plowing this year. It's been a light winter so far, but we're ready to go. And as most of you have seen in the news, a lot of residents are going to receive a $600 check from the federal government. And I certainly encourage our residents to, absolutely use that for their mortgage, their rent, that type of thing. But also if they're in a financial position, having an excess $600, please keep our local businesses in mind, because we've lost a lot of our local businesses and we don't want to lose any more. So thanks again, Chris.
Thanks, John. Jerry, how's everything in Rush?
Everything in Rush is just fine. This is a happy new year to all. And fortunately, we continue to hold the title of best kept secret in Western New York, or Monroe County, if you will. But moving on, as most of you know, we have maintained a clear status on the COVID situation, and we would love to maintain that. However, I heard of 2 local deaths from the COVID this past week, and that is not a good sign. I encourage everyone to wear masks, social distance, and probably, like my wife and I have done the first time in 30 years, just stay home. I know I can't don't want to dictate that to anyone, but we're feeling better about just staying home than maybe running a risk of trying to return to the normal, whatever that might be in the future. Taxes, the taxes in Rush, as John just said, for Mendon will be coming out. And I'm happy to report that taxes for Rush will be flat also. And for those of you who patronize the Rush Library, you probably know that the roof has leaked for 14 years. And we just had that roof fixed. So there is no leak. And I know that people are probably getting tired of me saying that, but after 14 years, I can't stop saying it. The roof doesn't leak. All the cans on the floor are gone. All the pieces of plastic covering up every piece of furniture is gone. So we'll try not to say that too much more in the future. I also want everyone to know that there's going to be some new faces in the town hall. One will be a new finance director who happens to be a Honeywell Falls resident, and we are taking her as a new finance director in the town of Rush. We will also be hiring a new supervisor secretary, and I'm looking forward to that also. The 1911 project, which is that large house across from the 7-Eleven in Rush, we just can't seem to get together on what to do about that, or at least not in a timely fashion. So we will continue to work on that and hope like heck that before mid-year, we can come to a community conclusion and go in whatever direction that is, to either get rid of that house or make it over into some new use. With that, I want to make everyone aware that Victoria Mazzetti, the deputy supervisor, is no longer with us as of today. And she was a real bright spot in the management of town business. But for political reasons, she's no longer there. You know that a deputy supervisor can be appointed by the supervisor. And well, I didn't get all the support I would have liked to on that, but that's okay. She made her mark, and that's all that's important. There was a new project announced by Jack Moore, with very limited information, but enough to get people interested, for a zoning change near the exit 11 on the west side of the expressway, actually on the west side of Route 15 also. And I personally can't wait to see more detail on that proposed project. I know about the zoning change, but I don't know more detail on what would be involved, but we're anxious to see that. We will have an organization meeting on January 13th. I didn't like waiting till then, but because of several things out of our control, we had to schedule it for January 13th. And we hope that we see a lot of residents attend that. It's going to be by Zoom, and I'd like to see a couple hundred people there. With that, Jerry will say, it's a new year. Let's take advantage of it. And thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Mike, how are things in the town of Lima?
Well, things in the town of Lima are bright and shiny and new for 2021. We have, of course, our elevator project that's going on. And as luck would have it, we have to move one of the steam pipes for the heating system. And in doing so, it was discovered that the pipe had been leaking steam for probably decades. And now we'll actually be able to repair it and avoid the loss of part of the floor in the boardroom, which is always a plus. Around Lima, the newest thing here, of course, the new walk-in cooler can be seen behind Johnny B's. And that means they're going to be changing their hours so that they'll be operating Thursdays through Mondays now, serving both lunch and dinner, which now finally we will have somebody serving lunch on Mondays, whereas Lima was almost completely closed then. Please take advantage of the drop box on the west side of the town hall for taxes. We remain open. You'll be able to pass your taxes in through the doorway at the clerk's office if you'd like, or mail them also. But the drop box is checked every day and is your best route to get your taxes paid. Just as in Mendon, the town of Lima did pass the exemptions for seniors and disability legislation this past week. So folks do not need to refile this year. That's some savings in traffic in and out of the town hall. Our organizational meeting is on January 4th, which is Monday at 10 a.m. And it is here at the town hall. And of course, everyone is welcome to attend. At Livingston County, two of the last three draws of sales tax have come in. And as of right now, we are $500,000 over 2019, so back in the plus. However, the yo-yo effect of restatements and all that other stuff, we really don't know where the year will end up until after the year is about 6 weeks over with. Brad Austin is taking over as the Livingston County Chief of the Office of Emergency Management. Kevin Niedermeyer is retiring, and I'll work along with him for a couple of months to get him all situated, but welcome to Brad. And I believe that is all I've got. Happy New Year, everyone.
All right, great. Thanks, Mike. Rick, Village of Honeywell Falls, what's cooking there?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see you. Greetings from Honeywell Falls, and we hope everyone had a great holiday season and a happy New Year. And I feel, as soon as we get done with this meeting, it'll be go Bills. So, on New Year's Eve day, the village office and building area went through a very deep clean. I want to thank Frank Pagano and the Service Master team for doing a fantastic job. I also want to take a minute to thank the County of Monroe and the Emergency Services Department in general for all their efforts to do their best to inform, engage, And, you know, throughout this whole pandemic, many people just truly don't understand the efforts that are being made to engage and inform people and aid those in need. Last week, we did have a person in our village staff in a specific department that did indeed test positive for COVID. We were able to contact the county, and within a few short hours, the whole department was fully tested. They came out to Honeywell Falls, ran the tests, and did a fantastic job. And we really appreciate the response of the county and Matt Jarrett, who is leading that charge. They've just been incredible. As you've probably heard in the news, the EMS personnel throughout the county are being given the vaccines. That process started out a little bit slow. There were only about 40 vaccinations available per day, specifically for the EMS. And I'm talking about ambulance personnel, not the doctors and nurses. And that has doubled, and now they have more vaccinations coming in. And the word that I've been given is that by the end of next week or early the week after, all EMS personnel should have been vaccinated once or have the ability to be vaccinated. So as an example, with Honeywell Falls Mendon Ambulance, our chief sat down this past Saturday and actually signed everybody up that didn't have a vaccination. So everyone is signed up to be vaccinated this upcoming week. So hopefully that will move forward positively. Our firefighters, the volunteers throughout the county, I think they're in the next wave. And, you know, again, I don't know when that's going to start, but they're hoping, again, the caveat is always that as long as they have the vaccines arrive, but they're hoping that within the next week or two that will start. The village has been working on moving into a new email system. So if you're trying to contact the village office or any of the village personnel by email, and if we don't respond as quickly as we normally try to, please bear with us. These transitions never go as smoothly as they say they're going to, but we're working through it, and we're hoping that through this next week, we'll all be up and running. We are excited. We've talked about this a little bit in the past, but we're excited that Hyzon Motors has been moving forward with the purchase of the Branson building on Quaker Meeting House Road, and that all seems to be moving forward well. So, you know, that's going to be a great new business in our community. We're really excited about that. Internal projects, we are very actively working on the Hyde Park project. I am expecting that at our January meeting, we will approve the engineering process to begin. We need that to happen to really understand how much damage there is on Hyde Park, and then what indeed it's going to cost to fix it, and give us some options of, you know, is it even possible to expand that road in that area at all? Can we make any improvements, or do we need to keep it really the way it was? So we're working on that. That's going to be one of the big projects. And of course, many people have seen that we've had a couple of public hearings, you know, on the Wolfsburger Park project, the housing project up off of Clover Street, North Main. That is continuing to move forward. We have a long way to go, though. You know, there has been some concern from people, you know, about some of the meetings we've held, and again, you know, some poor reception, et cetera. We're working through that, but we will make sure and ensure that all people's questions get answered, and that all of our residents are heard. So those are some positive things that are going on. You know, all in all, with the exception of a couple of people locally within our organization, most people are all doing well, healthy. And I want to echo Supervisor Moffitt's comment too. It was a great comment. We have to maintain and continue to support our local businesses. If you have the ability to use that money that you're going to get from the federal government to support our local businesses. If you can do so, please do so. Try to keep that money local as best you can. So thank you, Chris, for this opportunity, and look forward to talking to everyone next week.
Thanks, Rick. Eileen, Village of Scottsville. How are things going there?
Good afternoon. Things are pretty quiet in Scottsville. Things are going along well. Like Jerry said, we are out of any zones that we have to be extremely careful about, but we are being careful and wearing our masks and social distancing, and we hope we keep it that way so we continue to stay out of any zones. Some reminders. Our next board meeting is on Tuesday, January 12th at 6:30 p.m. It will be a remote meeting, so you can phone in and join our meeting if you want to listen, or if you have something that you want to bring up to the board. There will be 2 public hearings at this meeting. The first one regards monies in the general equipment reserve. We had released the monies to buy a snow blower, and we've done that for this season, and there's money left, and the DPW also needs a chainsaw. So the public hearing will to okay the release of the remaining monies in the general equipment reserve, the purchase of a chainsaw in an amount not to exceed $1,400. The other public meeting will be for the start of our budget season, which is the public hearing to override the tax cap. When talking about the budget, I am setting up the budget calendar for the 21-22 fiscal year preparations, and we will be getting that out to our trustees and posting it on our website and Facebook page. We've started talking with our departments and the treasurer to put together the tentative budget, and we will present that to the board sometime in February. Other than that, we are doing pretty well. It's pretty quiet here, not too much going on. Everybody is enjoying the holidays with their families, and I want to wish everybody a happy new year. And I found a little quote, and I think it's very kind of appropriate this year, which says, "Today is the first blank page of a 365-page book. Write a good one." And after last year, let's hope that this year and this book is a happy and healthy one. So all the best to you and to the residents of Scottsville. And we'll be back next week. Thank you.
Thanks, Eileen. And when you tell a writer about 365 pages, he interprets that as 365 deadlines. So with that, we would like to wish everyone a happy new year, wonderful new year. Build on all those opportunities that you had in 2020 and make 2021 even better. All right. We'll see everyone next week. Thanks for showing up, and go Bills. Bye-bye.
Go Bills. Thank you, Chris.
Bye-bye.